This is your board game shortcut to the Matcha expansion for the White Castle. If you enjoy the base game, chances are high you picked up the Matcha expansion as well. The expansion adds a whole new section to the board and introduces new actions. Most notably the Geisha Action, which behaves similarly to the Courtier Action but creates a new strategic layer that connects with all major areas of the game. I've already made guides for the base game and the dual version, but in this video I will show you how to integrate Matcha into the base game and how the expansion works from start to finish. The core flow of the game does not change. However, because Matcha adds a fourth bridge and a fourth color of dice, each round now has 4 turns instead of 3. That means each player now takes 12 turns over the course of the game. Before setting up the base game, shuffle the new cards and tiles into the matching decks and piles of the base game. You will then place the expansion board along the bottom edge of the main board, including the new green bridge. On that bridge, place green dice equal to the number of players plus 1. Below it, in the pond, place 3 random water lily tiles. Next to that, place 1 random ceremony tile with the blue side face up. Place 3 additional random ceremony tiles into the tea house, this time with the yellow side face up. Shuffle the calligraphy cards and the flower arrangement cards separately and place both decks onto the expansion board. Some of these cards have a special symbol. If you're only playing with 2 players, remove those cards from the game. For your own player area, you get a new domain board, a new type of worker, the Geishas, and a new resource, the Chasen. When setting up starting resources, use the blue ceremony tiles again and place 1 tile with each pair of starting cards. In reverse turn order, each player chooses 1 pair as usual and gains the resources shown. Place the new ceremony tile here. Once that is done, setup is complete. Now let's take a closer look at the new board elements and how they connect to the rest of the game. You may notice that no space on the board explicitly requires green dice. This means the new green dice can only be placed on neutral spaces. That is, spaces that accept any die color. Conversely, all new spaces on the expansion board are neutral, so you can activate the new actions with your existing dice as well. The only place that specifically relates to green dice is located on your personal domain board. The new Matcha action is the Geisha Action, which is triggered by placing a die on a space showing a tea field symbol. The Geisha Action allows you to progress toward the tea house or toward the pond. Finally, the expansion also introduces the Outskirts of Himeji, represented by the calligraphy and flower arrangement cards. Because you shuffled all new tiles and cards together with the base components during setup, the expansion areas are not isolated. You can access the new Matcha content through the familiar castle, garden and training yard action as well. Let's go through the new actions in detail. You gain access to the Geisha Action by placing a die on a space showing the tea kettle icon. The Geisha Action works similarly to the Courtier Action from the base game. It consists of 2 sub-actions and you may perform each of them once per turn. One action allows you to take a geisha from your domain board and place her at the entrance to the tea garden by paying 2 coins. The other action allows you to move one of your geishas further along the area. Moving 1 step costs 2 chasen and moving 2 steps costs 5. At the entrance and along the path of tea, any number of geishas from either player may stand. Inside the tea house itself, each floor may contain up to 2 geishas per player. Entering a room of the tea house immediately grants the effect shown on the yellow ceremony tile there. Why that can result in a significant amount of points will become clear during final scoring. Only 1 geisha per player may be sent to the pond. Wherever you move a geisha, you then perform the action printed on the space she reached. At the pond, you must choose between gaining the 3 water lily rewards or paying 3 coins to use the blue ceremony tile. By the way, from time to time you may also come across the koi symbol as a reward, which lets you take all water lily rewards at once. If you move 1 or 2 steps along the path of tea, you interact with the Outskirts of Himeji. With the first step, you choose one of the yellow curtains, perform the action and place that card directly into the appropriate lantern area. Note that the last card of a deck cannot be taken. With the second step, you choose one of the blue curtains, perform the action but leave the card in place. If you activate the outskirts directly by placing a die there, you perform both actions aligned with that space. One yellow and one blue in any order. The cards stay where they are. this covers all new matcha actions. Let's take a moment to look at a new domain board. It works similarly to the original one, but with some differences. Behind the uncovered rewards for your geishas, you also have the ceremony tile you drafted at setup. Whenever you use the green die line of your domain board, you may pay 1 daimyo seal to perform the action on that ceremony tile. So in my case, I can pay 1 daimyo seal to promote a courtier without paying Mother of Pearl. Note that everything from the base game remains valid as printed. For example, here the red, black and white die colors still refer to the original die colors on the domain board, not the green one. Likewise, when a bonus lets you gain resources of your choice, Chasen does not count as a selectable resource. This is why exchanging 2 daimyo seals for resources now lists Chasen next to food, iron and Mother of Pearl. As usual, a round ends when there are only as many dice remaining as there are bridges. With Matcha, that number is now 4. The only difference from the base game is that players may now also activate their geisha at the pond at the end of the first and second round. So similar to the garden activation from the base game. The condition remains the same. There must still be at least 1 green die on the bridge. If so, you may resolve the pond action and choose one of its 2 options. Final scoring follows the base game rules first. Then you score your geishas. A geisha at the pond is worth 2 points. A geisha at the entrance is worth 1 point. On the first step 2 points and on the second step 3 points. The tea house is where things get interesting. Each geisha in the tea house scores 2 points for every worker of a specific type that you deployed during the game. On the lowest floor, geishas score for courtiers. For example, 2 geishas reward each of your courtiers with 4 points. So 3 courtiers would be worth 12 points. On the middle floor, geishas score for warriors, and on the top floor they score for gardeners. A small strategic note: if you invested heavily in a specific area during the game, for example the garden, it is usually wise to send both geishas to the matching tea house floor. If you completely ignore that section, such as the training yard, there is no value in sending geishas to the middle floor. I suggest collecting geishas along the path of tea and then commit them to the tea house once you see how the game is developing. And that's the Matcha expansion. I hope this video helped you see how easily Matcha integrates into the White Castle. If you're new to the game, I've also made a full rules explanation for the base game as well as for the White Castle duel. Now thanks for watching and enjoy your next game at Himeji Castle.